Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back. It's Jordan here. Today we're going to be working on the Lego City. I recently made some changes to the Lego City. Nothing crazy, but we doubled up the Jazz Club. That is pretty crazy. I guess it looks pretty jazzy, if you will. And then also I removed this park here where we have Gargantos just chilling out front of Town Hall. The mayor, he looks decently impressed. He's like, hey, what is that thing? It's pretty cool. So I've got to work on redeveloping that park because I actually stole a lot of the tiles from that massive plate. It's actually two plates, so it's 32 by 64 studs. I was stealing these tiles because I'm out of light gray tiles, and I needed them for the Jazz Club. The double Jazz Club looks pretty jazzy once again, but yeah, I need the light gray tiles, and I actually need more of them, so I think I'm going to be changing up that park just to sort of like reallocate those tiles to different areas that need it. For example, that strip of sidewalk there, not tiled off. Doesn't look very good. That strip of sidewalk over there, that doesn't look very good either. There's more examples like that throughout the Lego City. Of course, I could just order more tiles, which I should probably do because there's the Houses of the World promo right now. But I was looking at it. You could spend like $330 to get that promo. I guess I should just order more tiles. Or just order them and not worry about the promo maybe. Yeah. Okay, but I think if I reconfigure this park, can save those, and then make the city look pretty spiffy once again. Also, we got to place this, and then we're going to talk about some skyscrapers as well. What am I going to do with that? Why don't we try to build some more floors and maybe test fit one? And then also bicycle lanes. I was working on bicycle lanes after I finished building the Jazz Club yesterday. I was working on my inverted corner. I cleaned it up. Yeah, looks way better. It was actually a whole bunch of like weird random colors. And then I was working on some other inverted corners throughout the Lego City. So it's either this, which is actually like a natural corner, like goes sort of like in the inside of the corner. And then I was thinking maybe I could build the same thing there, or I can just build it like that. And I actually think that makes more sense, right? It's not too bad. It's just that white interior line just sort of breaks, or I make them all corners like that. I don't have the pieces to do this, so that's why I decided to do that. And I think it looks pretty good. And you know what? I was reading comments from my other video, and a lot of people were saying, this makes no sense. And I was like, yeah, you're right. That doesn't make any sense. The crosswalk does not line up with the sidewalk. So I got to try and move the crosswalk right here. The problem is in order to do that, I need to use two pieces, which I don't have very many of at least. Well, I guess to be honest, I could use a lot more than two pieces, but the easiest way to do that would be, of course, to take this, either just swap that and have no crosswalk, or put one there, slide this one back, right? And then put that there. So then the crosswalk would be right there. Now, I only have 3 of these. These are like the 8x16 road plates that don't have the zebra crossing. So I've got to like try and find more of these. I wonder if Lego sells them. Maybe Lego sells them. Yeah, maybe I would be able to get these when I get my light gray tiles, and also more of the bicycle print pieces, because you can see there are some open spots in my bicycle lane still. But yeah, definitely need to move those crosswalks. The other thing I could do is just brick build all my roads. I've been considering doing that, you know, after building these. I was like, ooh, maybe when I'm done perfecting the Lego City, I want to build up. I want to build skyscrapers like we're going to test in this video, but maybe I need to start brick building all my roads, and that would just look super good. Then I could turn these lines yellow. I could put crosswalks wherever I want. We could put turning lanes in. We could do anything your imagination can build. What? You can do anything that you want, because you're not at the mercy of these like road plates, but you can actually do like whatever you want with the brick and plate. So maybe I need to do that. That's something to think about, but I would require a lot of dark gray brick. It would actually be ridiculous. Okay, first thing I want to do is place that Jazz Club. Before we place that building, check it out. I hopped on the Lego website and I found what I was looking for. We've got these right here. It is the dark stone gray plate, which is 8x16 by 2, and it's just the road. They ship in 28 days, so it's not bad. They're 3.25 Canadian a pop. That's crazy. 15 of those, slam them in the cart, and this is what my cart's looking like so far. Best sellers, so you get those bicycle lane, print pieces, which is good. Some 1x2 tiles, some 1x8 tiles, some 2x2 tiles, 999 of them, which is the max quantity. And then some 1x4 tiles on top there. That's the best seller category. That's going to like ship right away. It'll be here stat. Standard seller, yeah, they're going to take a lot longer to get here. They ship in 28 days. What a nuisance that is. But included in that is the road plates. We're going to get rid of all those zebras, like random zebras all over my roads. They look ridiculous. I'm probably going to go down there and count and make sure that I actually need 15 of them. Maybe I need more. I don't know. But then also some of the bricks and plates and tiles that are going to help add those bicycle lane 2x4 printed pieces. I can bed them right into the bicycle lane. So that's the little cart that I've got going on. And look at that. I'm already at 208.15. Holy smokes, it adds up quickly, doesn't it? That's crazy. So I decided to put the Jazz Club back in its original position. I think it looks fairly decent beside the Parisian restaurant and also the Palace Cinema. Now I did have to move some buildings to make space for that. In fact, there is a half base plate open on the end of the street there by the Parisian restaurant. And what I did is actually slid this whole block forward, half a base plate, because I don't think that town square with the fountain and the trees has to be that big. Like, that is pretty big, 2 base plates. So actually I'm going to reduce it by a half base plate. So now that is 16 by 64 studs. So then I was able to slide this whole block forward, and I moved 2 small Friends modular buildings on either side of the botanical gardens. So there's the hotel right there. Actually, let me rephrase that. That is a flower shop that was built using the parts from a hotel. And then I put the activity center, which is built using one of the Heart Lake City school sets, beside my custom school that was built using 5 of the Heart Lake City school sets. So it sort of makes sense. If I run out of space, I'd be more than willing to part with this building and also this one here, but I may as well like keep them in the city for now, just because there's enough space. So I think that looks pretty good. I love the placement of the Jazz Club. That makes sense because now the flower shop is beside the botanical garden, and we've got all our friend stuff sort of grouped right there. So I do have an open base plate here, and this is the block where the skyscrapers are probably going to be test fitted somewhere in this area. This whole thing is going to be reshuffled. But first, I want to take care of the town square. And once again, this thing is going to be reduced in size by 50%. So first off, I had to part out the plate, was able to extract the fountain there. Then we've got all the minifigures, bushes and trees, all the plate, and also tile. So this is what I've come up with so far. I centered the fountain. The fountain is quite large. It's 16 by 18 studs. And then I put a bench on this side, and I'll put a bench on the other side as well. There is some space that needs to be tiled off here. I'm thinking of tiling it off using a different color, but I don't know how good that will look, to be honest with you. Like, I could mess around with some dark gray stuff or some dark tan stuff, but I just think that light gray sort of matches the surrounding sidewalk and sort of makes sense. I put a patch of grass over here and also over here, and I bordered that with light gray masonry and topped that with dark gray tile. Now, there is 2 studs that were on the road, and I actually made the grass come onto the road. But what I did is change the mills plate, so it has 1 layer of light gray plate. You can see it on the bottom of the masonry brick there, and then it has 1 layer of green plate, so that when you look at the sidewalk from this perspective, you don't see the green right there, but rather you see light gray. So it just sort of makes sense. Yeah, I sort of want to tile it off in a different color, but I honestly just don't think that's going to match the feel. I like this. It's more of like a condensed version of what we had before, and there's no way I needed to allocate 2 base plates to that. Pretty much have everything that was there before, just sort of less of it. And I need to figure out what type of vegetation I'm going to put in these green spots. So the city square is all done. It's looking pretty good. And I decided to fire up the Lego Skyscraper workshop over here. All right, another day of building has gone by. I think this park, or whatever you want, town square.
Kurt?
Yep.
You can come eat.
Okay. Kids. It's pizza. Right, Benjamin? You just spit out the cucumber. Is he going to go for the pizza?
Pepper?
No. He's a veggie type of guy, hey? Wow. No, he said maybe not. What What about you, Mel? You doing pizza or veggie?
Just liking the pizza.
Pizza? He's going for the pizza now. He just really can't make up his mind, can he? Pretty good stuff, eh, buddy? Looking at what he's dropped in his bib there. He's, oh, what's in there? What's in the bib? Well, that was delicious. As I was trying to say, town square's looking pretty good. I just added a little pathway there using some of those quarter round, dark bluish gray tiles, some of those olive style trees. I think they look pretty good. There's 2 of them in each spot. Also the flowered bushes, and then just some flowers. So it's like a little park area where minifigs can walk through up to the fountain. I think it looks pretty good in front of Town Hall. So I've also been working on skyscrapers, and while working on skyscrapers, I have come up with my next big project, I think, and it isn't skyscrapers. But first, check this out. When creating my inverted corner for my bike lane, I didn't have any 1x1 dark azure bricks, but I did have snot bricks. So I took the opportunity of creating a funny story of this guy falling off his bike. So one snot brick is holding the bike, and it uses one of those like minifig pose elements, and then that little, I don't know, that little connector element there, I guess I'll call it. And then the other snot brick just has one of the minifig pose elements, so I can get that minifigure in like an action pose falling off his bike, and then the facial expression is like, oh no, I'm falling to the ground. So now I can place this inverted corner back in the city. I had to switch the direction of him just so he's going the right way. Now it looks even more gnarly, like that guy's gonna break a leg. Oh my goodness. You know what I've got to do? I've got to fix that scenario over there. I keep moving my fire brigade, and every time I move the fire brigade, I've got to adjust the sidewalk. That doesn't look right, does it? Speaking of sidewalk, though, when I made those changes to the town square, I freed up a bunch of tiles, so now this whole street here by the Jazz Club is all tiled off. That looks a lot better. Remember I was talking about the zebra crossings? Yeah, see, I need 1, 2, 3, 4 for right there alone, because you're not going to cross the street into the grass. That makes no sense. Same with that one. Same with that one. Same with that one. So I need to get 4 for that corner alone. And there's a lot more examples of that all throughout the Lego city. For example, over here. And that one's fine. This one's probably fine, but this one doesn't make any sense. And then there's another one that's leading off the bike path right there. Well, that makes no sense either. So there are so many of those zebra crossings that have to change throughout the entire Lego city. So I'm always looking to do different things with my Lego city just because it changes up my day. I like having fun with it, trying different buildings, moving things around, doing different layouts, building things for the raised platform, etc., etc., etc. Those goes on forever, right? So I'm sort of in like a mindset right now that I want to try and build some skyscrapers. Got the Avengers Tower, got the Daily Bugle, got the Sigfig Complex. Yeah, there's some pretty tall buildings, but I want to add some more tall buildings to the Lego city. I also want to try and add maybe some elevation to certain areas in the Lego city as well. I'm going to talk about that in 1 second, but first I'm going to show you the base model of some skyscraper layouts. It's a stinking mess because I'm currently in my happy place making a mess, building all day. It's been good, man. It's been good. So this is some base models for some skyscrapers. I've got them stacked on top of each other because they are all the same size. I actually took this design and finished it off. I used, like it was built prior to this, it was built using like brackets and 2x6 tiles, but you can get the same effect with panels. So I decided to build it with panels just because I have a lot of panels. So I'm able to build multiple floors. Now I'm doing this in a cheating way. This should technically be 2 floors, but I've only built 1 floor because each one of these things, like the plate work on the bottom, because each one of these things uses 9 of the 8x8 plates. So if you like do that for every single floor, like it just adds up. Like it actually gets crazy, right? So if I can reduce the amount of plate that I use to try and build like the skeleton structures for my skyscraper templates, then I'm going to do that. And that's just what I did. And you know what? I found this very therapeutic, just building these different skyscraper floors. So this one is the same as this one. and it just uses the 1x6x5 window glass and the 1x2x5 panels, and then there's 2 layers of plate interlocking it in the center. It uses the 8x8 plates, and then there's actually white plate on the bottom of it, and then there's another layer of plate, and then on the top it uses a layer of plate and a layer of tile. And then this one here, pretty much the same thing, but with the black textured bricks. I think that one looks pretty good, and I've actually got a really good idea of combining the 2 colors. It's going to be pretty exotic. The full concept isn't there yet. I've got a really good idea in my mind, but I want to reveal that in another video. This is not the ground floor, but yeah, it's going to involve both colors, and it's going to be pretty neat. I think this color is going to be on its own. This is the Nougat Scraper along with the Trans Blue 1x2s. Once again, same thing. You see how I've built, let's take this apart because it's modular in a sense, but it might grab a couple pieces as I take it apart. Same thing here though, like I've combined 2 floors into one. Technically, these 8x8 plates should be in the center here, but this just consumes so many pieces. In fact, I've pretty much used all my black pieces for this. Like I don't have any more pieces to create more of those. I'm low on the white, and I'm running low on the Trans Blue 1x2 bricks. So like we're already like running out of pieces, so like these things just take so many pieces. It's absolutely insane. But the way I can reduce that part consumption is by doing things like that. And I just found this very therapeutic, just throwing these together. It was a lot of fun, just sort of bombing skyscrapers together, and like you sit down here for a few hours and then you've got like this tower of buildings, right? And I think adding some towers in the city would be a good way to change it up, even if it's just for a short period of time. I always like trying different things, and I think this is a super cool way of doing that. So this tower of skyscrapers, well, not that one, like it'll be different than that, but when I do place them, they're probably going to go in this block right here. One quick note about another skyscraper design that I haven't mentioned in this video here today, but I did feature it the other day. Unfortunately, this one, I love the design of it. It's one of my favorites, but I don't have any of the parts to create it. For example, I don't have 1x1 Nougat bricks. I don't have enough jumpers, nor do I have enough blue window glass or the light gray window frames. So I love this design and I want to run with it, but I'm unable to make a prototype because I literally don't have the pieces to do it. And it's all about working with the pieces you have. Yeah, I think it's going to add some really nice height to the Lego city, and I want to make all different variations of these sort of skeleton structures that will consume an entire block. So that corner garage alt build, the pub, will go. The downtown diner will most likely be relocated. That building right there, the Sanctum Sanctorum, is most likely going to be parted out. That one on the end, I'm not sure what's going to happen to it. Might be redesigned into some sort of different skyscraper or something. I might do my Diagon Alley idea where I build a Diagon Alley diorama way over there on that table, and those 4 base plates might be gone, and I'm going to create some sort of skyscraper district in the city. Actually, this is my first time placing it, and I think it looks cool. If we get more of them like that, and some of them might have a narrow profile like that there, and some of them might be 26 studs like those ones there, and just build all different shapes and sizes and colors and variations of these towers, not throughout the entire city, but for one square block. And I just think it'd be a cool way to change up my day a bit and change up the city. And I really like it. I'm a fan of it, and I'm pretty hyped. But I did say I have one more idea. I've thought about doing this in the past, and I just never could wrap my head around how to do it, just because it is a very drastic change. I'm thinking about adding elevation to the city, and I'm not going to do that with a wood structure like I've done in the past. And it's not going to be as drastic as that. Like the raised platform is massive. It brings all those medieval buildings up so high. And I've attempted to do some elevation in the past, but it's all been with wood platforms. I've never really done it with Lego. So I think I probably have the parts right now to try and do it with Lego. I'm just trying to wrap my head around how to do it. And I think how I would do it is a mills system. So I would try and bring up a block, say like this block. I don't know, maybe like 4 to 6 bricks, right? So you have this whole block up a bit. Then what you'd have to do is have the road ramp up, sort of like how I have my road over there. It ramps up a little bit. There's like a bridge. Let's see if I can see it from here. There's like a little bit of a bridge there that goes over a creek. But if I have it ramp up like that, so it follows the flow of the buildings, and then each building, say for example, we're going up 6 bricks. This one would be 1 brick, 2 brick, 3 brick, or whatever it may be. Maybe this one's 2 brick, 4 brick, 6 brick, and then it sort of plateaus and goes back down. Now, the thing that I'm having trouble wrapping my head around is if I do that here, like if I have this ramp up and go like that, then all of these buildings have to be at road height wherever it ramps up. But so do the buildings on this side, and that's what really gets me. If I do it to the road here, then the buildings on either side of the road have to be brought up. So in order to do that, like it's going to require a ton of pieces, and it's going to require like either building like platforms out of Lego that these mills plates can sit on, or like changing up the mills plates, or like the bricks that support the that come off the base plate that support the building underneath on every single building, so that if you want to change it back, it'd be sort of a nightmare. So I'm trying to wrap my head around how to add skyscrapers, and also potentially how to add a change of elevation to the city using Lego, but making it look natural with the roads going up and the buildings going up on the side as well. It's very part intensive to do. That's what I'm mostly scared about. I'm not really scared of the work behind it, because it is what it is. This is what I do for a living, so I'm not really scared of doing a little bit of hard work. This is what I do all day, every day, so I really don't mind doing it. It's just trying to wrap my head around how to execute it properly, so that if I do have to make changes, it's not going to be like really, really time intensive, or more time intensive than it has to be. I already know like it's going to be part intensive, like out of the wazoo. Like it's going to be absolutely ridiculous, because pretty much if I raise up one of these buildings on a mills plate and say it's going up, rather than 1 brick, it's going up 4 or 5 to try and match the road beside it, I know the edge of that is going to have to be like solid, or at least the top layer of it will have to be like solid light gray. Or I could try and build like platforms, and then once again place the building on top of the brick built platform to raise it up that way. It's going to be a crazy intense project, but I sort of want to try it with at least 1 city block. And I think the best city block to try it on is going to be the skyscraper block. Since I plan on building these skyscrapers anyway, maybe I can try and come up with a system to elevate them as well. I really like the look of that. It's very colorful, and the black, white, and nougat and trans blue obviously will not be paired up together, but I think it's a fast way to fill a block full of skyscrapers, and we'll come up with different designs and different colors, and potentially try elevation as well. So there we go. We've got some skyscrapers placed in the Lego City. Hey, they look good by that construction site too. Hey, that sort of makes sense. That looks sweet. And then we've got the town park, the town park made up there as well. Oh my gosh, having trouble speaking today as always. And then the jazz club placed in the Lego City. And I also fixed up a bunch of those road plates and started placing in order. So a pretty productive day here in the Lego City. Thank you so much for coming on by. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more great stuff, and have yourselves a fantastic day. Farewell.